Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park for a Saturday edition of Today at the Races. I'm Dan Ullman, along with the voice of the Preakness Stakes and the voice of Maryland Racing, the great Dave Rodman. Nice show today, Dave. 9 races, 2 stakes for 3-year-olds, 2 low 12% takeout pick 5 wagers. A lot of good things going on in Maryland.
Yeah, I'm ready for that early pick 5. I think there's a vulnerable favorite in there. We'll give you that ticket in a moment. A lot going on, too, with the beer crawl.
Beer crawl at noon all throughout the grandstand and clubhouse here at Laurel Park. I believe it's $5 beers all day long. We've got some great artwork that's being sold, I believe, in the grandstand as well. So come on out if you're in the vicinity right now. And thanks so much for watching wherever you may be. We are getting set for the Preakness. And today's stakes race for the 3-year-olds, the private terms, is a nice prep for the Federico Tessio, which of course is a win and you're in for the Preakness. And Preakness 150 tickets are now on sale at Preakness.com. Dave, this has got to be a special Preakness for you, the last one at Old Hilltop.
Yeah, last one under the old grandstand there at Old Hilltop before we renovate and come back with renewed vigor here in Maryland. And I'll tell you what, you better get your tickets in. A lot of people are going, I want to go to 150. Those premium tickets are going very, very fast, like the Turfside Terrace and places like that. So get your tickets because the premium seating is indeed flying.
And if you want to enjoy all the amenities of Preakness, play the Preakness Preview Day Handicapping Challenge at Laurel Park, Saturday, April the 19th. Great thing about this contest, it's a hybrid event. You can play here, you can play online. $500 buy-in, $250 bankroll to play with. It's a live money contest. $250 to the prize pool. LaurelPark.com. Go down to the events tab. You'll get all of the rules. You get to win 2 Preakness tickets, cash prizes, and berths in either the BC or NHC. It's really a fun tournament. Good to see him back at Laurel Park.
It is indeed. And to me, you know, the fun of playing contests to play it with your fellow horse players, right? If you're alive for something big, you want somebody to pat on the back and help you cheer on to get the top prizes. You know, you can play online if it's a little too far to drive. We'd love to have you here back at Laurel Park, our handicapping contest, first one in a long time.
Speaking of handicapping contests and challenges, we've got a challenging 9-race card, 9 tough contests. Nice weather conditions, however. Track yesterday was listed as good. Today we have been upgraded to fast. Temperature 54 degrees. Always a little bit of wind, but not as much as we've seen recently. I'm looking for a good day of racing.
Yeah, a hint of springtime. I think the temperatures are going to start to rise. You see a little bit of green there on the turf course, too, which is always a good sign that spring is here and turf racing is coming back.
Let's kick off with race number 1. We're going 1 mile and a 16th. This is a claiming event, 7,500 down to 6,000. Now winners of 2 since September the 22nd, or a non-winners of 4 life. Take out the 6 award nominated. It leaves us with a field of 8, and we have got a hard hitter in here. The one Yodel Ihe U is 9 years old. He has won 16 times. We'll get to him in a second because this is the first leg of the 12% low takeout value pick 5. A lot of folks are going to be using Yodel Ihe U. Are you?
I am, but the key to me is maybe the perhaps vulnerable favorite, I hope, in the 3rd race in Haley B. I did not use that horse. Went for Feiner's Fillets and Genie and a bridle in there. Spreading a little bit in the opener, using the nest, old-timer, war horse, throwback horse, 76 starts, 16 wins, 17 seconds, along with Martini Martin, who's got a bit of back class, maybe hopefully coming back to life. He gets a pace up front, kick-starting us the other nest, and Impetude with a rider shake up there. 2nd race, I'm going to single Anthony Ferrier's mainline Cipher, and then the 3rd race may be the key to make or break there. I'm using the 2 and 7. In the 4th race, I'm using Stroncino, Ness, and Brittany Russell with Derby Ness. And in the final leg, a little more open race, I think, in there. I hope I've got the winner there in Paperback Notion, who was my top pick in the race, but going to use the 1 and the 7 as well. Lady Limoncello, the 2-1 morning line favorite, along with the 7. Girl Gone Wild. Oh, disappointed last time out, but maybe today.
Maybe today. $24 is the ticket, 50-cent minimum play, 12% takeout. It's a great bet, the early value pick 5. Yodel Hehu has had many reincarnations throughout his career. At first, he was a late-running sprinter. He was actually second in the General George here, going 7/8 a couple of years ago. Then he was able to stretch his speed out, or at least kick on, going a mile and a 16th. We have a video spotlight from his race 2 starts back, and Michael Sanchez was very wise with Yodel Hehu. There was no speed on paper. Michael said, you know something, this horse has never shown speed in the past. Let's give it a try.
And I think that was the plan because of the races run earlier in the card. Speed was very big February 9th here at Laurel Park. Michael Sanchez, wasting no time, said, I'm going to put him on the lead today. Usually kind of a confirmed closer, could rate off the pace, can from well back. So put him right on the lead down the chute onto the main portion of the track, rode the inside, best part of the track, a convincing winner. Then last time out here at Laurel Park, going a mile and an eighth, they kind of tried the same tack a little bit on the chase. That didn't work. I don't know. Maybe he'll try to sell a little bit, but he's got that rail, so we'll see if they go on with it up the front. Kickstartness is the other Ness horse in the race, who may be kind of the pacemaker. Maybe Yodel who can sit right off of it. The 2, Martini Martin, again, back to the winner's circle, disappointed in the muddy track. February 9th, that big rail day behind Yodel Hehu, but very capable with his best race. Impetude, a little rider shake-up today. Claudio Gonzalez using Weston Hamilton in the saddle this afternoon. A big price. If he can come to that race 3 back, likes to run outside, I think. Then he was too close to the pace, 2 races back. Last time out, caught that muddy track, didn't like it today. Track is fast, maybe. I don't think it's too much of a reach.
I don't think it's too much of a reach at all, because at this level, 3 starts back, Impetude showed that he could sit and finish at this distance with no problem. You could argue he was a little bit overmatched 2 starts back against Clubman, who was finishing up his career on a high note last time out. Maybe the track was playing to speed. Remember, El Delary just kind of wired that field. Maybe Impetude was up against it. Interested in your thoughts on Gambling Czar. Gambling Czar, I think, is a very strong contender in this race, because he was the only horse making up ground in a race last time out where they ran 1-2 around the track. Now, we hop back to his left lead late when it looked like he was in with a big chance, but maybe the race flow wasn't there for him.
Yeah, well, the race flow could be there today, perhaps with Kickstart showing some early speed. He's got that old Yodel Hehu kind of running style, right? Lags behind, makes one run. I've seen him kind of run up to horses like he was going to do something and just kind of linger along, though. I couldn't do them all there. I guess, with a $24 ticket, if you want to go another deep, that wouldn't hurt you.
Dave's going 1-4, 2, and 3. I'm going 1-7, 4, 9. Maybe a pace-tracking, ground-saving trip this time for Yodel Hehu in the opener at Laurel Park. Let's move on to race number 2. We're going 5.5 furlongs, the classic distance. 12.5 down to 10. Now winners of 3 life for 4-year-olds and up. A field of 6 in here. This is the first leg of our 50-cent pick 4 wager. Not only do we have early and late pick 4s today, but it's a 9-race program. We've got a middle pick 4, 3 chances to score.
Yep. So this is early pick 4. Dan, you've got the 5 on top, Mainline Cypher. So do I. But he's probably not going to be on the lead, right?
It's hard to imagine with a horse as quick as Irish Hero down to the inside. Yeah. There's only one way Irish Hero can go, and breaking from the rail, if Irish Hero breaks, he's got to go. I don't think he would like being in behind horses at all. Mainline Cypher, I think, is going to be okay from this outside post position, especially if the 4 Super Bourbon decides to put a little heat on Irish Hero. Irish Hero ran okay last time out at Mahoning Valley, but maybe just against much better horses. The winner of that race came back placed in a non-3 allowance with a 75 buyer.
And a couple of things to like as well. Blinkers only went on the last 2 starts, responded with a win at Charlestown, right? Gate to wire, moderate fractions. But in that race, you just mentioned there, finishing 4th, the fractions, 23-1, 46 seconds for that non-winner 3 allowance at Mahoning. That's 3/5 faster than a starter allowance later in the card. Much tougher horses, I think, a little later in the card at the same distance. So Mainline Cypher, I think, can be on the chase, and perhaps the heat will get hot with Irish Hero, Super Bourbon. There's always a possibility that Irish Hero will forget to stop today. So take your choice of how you think the race is going to play out. I just think that race at Mahoning with the fractions put Mainline Cypher over the top here, and I'm going to rely on that runner in the pick 5 early.
Talk me into Speaker It a little bit as a horse you might want to use underneath. This horse's recent running lines, less than inspiring, but this horse has been freshened up, and maybe that's just going to be key. And not Willie Key.
Not Willie, the key. The key. I guess, right, if something goes crazy up front. He's come back from a layoff in January to May. Didn't fire, but that was on the turf. But, back here at Laurel Park on the dirt, little time away. Perhaps in the money.
I'll try to get the 2 Formal Affair into the number here at a price. Maybe this horse can't run anymore. Has not looked good in his last few races. Wired over a speed-friendly track after facing 2 next-out winners. I thought it was facing decent horses last time out, but just didn't do anything at all. If there is a contested pace, this one comes running late.
It's interesting that this Toby Roth-owned horse, Ben Feliciano, back to Feliciano here. Roth and Feliciano, a long time ago, had a pretty good turf horse back in 2020. They teamed up to win with, I think it was Colonel something. I forget the name of the horse. I can't even remember writing there. But the end goal, perhaps, for this colt, maybe not 5.5, a little bit longer races. So I want to see how he runs today. But it's a trainer change, but owner going back to a trainer he's had some success with years ago, reunited.
And we have a stat for Mainline Cipher that I do want to mention for trainer Anthony Farrier, who had a winner yesterday. Allowance to claiming, 5 for the last 12, 42%, $2.07 ROI. This horse just seems very well entered for his circuit debut. And that's where we're going. Mainline Cipher, the 5 in race 2. Dave's using 136 underneath. I'm using 264. Let's go to race number 3. 1-turn mile with the long second wire finish. It's an open claimer, 7,500 down to 6. Take out the 4 Halo City. Take out the 6 Jolly Miss Jill. That leaves us with a field of 6. This is the first leg of our middle 50-cent pick 4. So another great opportunity to score in here. You like a horse in here, and we have a video spotlight on Genie and a Bridle. And I was a big fan of Genie and a Bridle. I'm going to pat myself on the back, knowing that a pat in the back in this business is a good 6 inches away from a kick in the can. And Genie and the Bridle, though, I thought just got a beautiful trip and ride from Maldonado in here. Speed wasn't doing great. This horse saved ground every step and got up.
Okay, I'll agree with everything you said. It was a closer's day. Saved the ground, got up. Beat Levisa, who's really eaten some money here in the last month or two at Laurel Park. Good trip down to the inside, sprinting at 6 furlongs. Looks like a perfect setup, right? But past 5 years, Hugh McMahon sprint to route, 31 to 60 days on the dirt. Big positive ROI is what I've got. And I think that Haley B may be a vulnerable favorite in the spot. Last out, a race with conditions, was a controlling speed. There wasn't a lot of speed in there. There was no speed in there. She controlled all the way, having everything her own way in moderate fractions. Now, perhaps, maybe she's a speed to the speed again, but I think maybe somebody like At First Sight will get wise. Maybe Feiner's Fillets can maybe put a little pressure on her in the turn, just enough for Genie and a Bridle to get it done.
And the key, again, for you in your early pick 5 is to try to beat Haley B, who will very likely be the favorite in this race. I just found it fascinating that it took his connections. And look at the trainers that Haley B was with. Dale Bennett, a sharp trainer. Brittany Russell, obviously great. Jamie Ness, obviously high percentage. It took them 21 races to get this horse out to a route of ground. Maybe they thought Haley B couldn't do it. Haley B did it. She went gate to wire that day, but she did have a very easy lead. We do have a stat for Jamie Ness and Haley B. Last out winners making their second route start, 29% winners, $2.24 ROI. Isn't Haley B, you think there's some pressure in here? I think Haley B can be loose again.
Perhaps. But, it would be very disappointing for me to see that horse loose on the lead around the far turn. I can tell you that. At First Sight, let's talk about that horse a little bit, because I think that she may be the one that perhaps put some pressure on. She could not keep up with the 21-2 on a sloppy track, going 6 furlongs last time out in closed ground, that race won by R. Avery Lynn. But stretching out to the mile, she's had some kind of foot early back in her career. You see on the running lines there. I'm hoping for the just enough Just enough pressure.
I really thought this horse ran well last time out, going the 3/4 in the first start off. The Claim, as you mentioned, was kind of outrun early on that wet track. Had to alter course to the far outside and really came with a good run behind a sharp winner. You mentioned our Avery Lynn came back to win. At First Sight's another one of those horses. They've been very reluctant to stretch her out, but I'm not willing to say she can't do it. She's only tried the mile once. It was a sloppy track. She ran into a runaway winner. I think if there is some pace, she's a very interesting horse, and she might go off at a decent price for low-profile connections.
Okay, so I think the opening quarter, opening 3/8 is going to
We'll
really
know.
dictate this race,
Long stretch might also help out Genie in a bridle. That's where Dave's going. 7, 2, 1, and 8, and I'll chalk out with Haley B. Better short price than long face. I'll go 1, 2, 7, and 8. We'll move on to race number 4. This time we'll stretch out to 2 turns, 1 mile and a 16th. This is an allowance for 4-year-olds and up. We've got a field of 6 in here. I thought this was a really fairly evenly matched group, and it's the first leg of our Chesapeake Pick 6. It's only a 20% wager. It's a jackpot wager, only a 20% takeout. Very small carryover, but we're growing.
Stroncino from the Jamie Ness Bar going to be my top pick. You've got the horse second. You going to Derbiness from the Brittany Russell Barn. Shall we go to the video first and look at Stroncino?
Let's go to the video of
Okay.
Stroncino's most recent start. This is at Parks, Dave, and take it away. This horse got wired. I thought he was cruising into the stretch. Doesn't change leads. Does that hurt him?
That did hurt him. But also, the fractions were fairly glacial for that day at Parks. Kind of made a wide bid. You see wandering there in the left lead, wandering a little bit to the outside. So, yeah, the lead change certainly perhaps cost him the race. And also the fact that the leader there just step on it. As you can see, he's getting a little tired and drifting there after glacial fractions early on. I'm hoping for a faster pace today, especially with Derbiness in the race. The trip today for Stroncino.
My little concern with Stroncino is there may not be a ton of pace in here again. And I think this is a much tougher spot than the one he was in last time out. Derbiness might be a little bit hard to trust at this point, considering he's lost at a short price. And what? You look at his last 4 races, he's been, 2-1 or less, and he's lost each and every time. But I think this is the time where maybe he gets to the lead. And we have a stat for Brittany Russell, and if it's a BTR stat, it's going to be good. 12 for 31 between February 23rd and March 18th. That's almost 40%, a 271 ROI. I thought Derbiness was going to get to the lead last time out, and he kind of hopped up at the air very slightly, and that cost him a chance to get to the front. Then he tracked a slow pace 3 wide. He looked like he had a big chance. He actually poked ahead in front of Capcom.
Yeah.
Is it a case where he doesn't want it? I'm not willing to give up on him just yet.
Well, I mean, my personal comment was the horse really did, when you watch the race, edged forward with plenty of confidence looming and turning for home, like he was going to win, maybe by a couple of lengths. But he just could not seal the deal, and then got outbobbed in the photo by Capcom. So that's why I'm going to the other way here with Stroncino, hoping he can save a little more ground, switch those leads, come from off the pace, perhaps a little more pace pressure. You got Striking Sparks in here, the other Ness horse who thinks going to provide the pace.
Now that might be the key. I'm hoping that Derbiness can get aggressive and get to the front and control things, but Ness does have 2, and Striking Sparks has shown speed and actually dueled with a horse last time out that was 12-1, ended up finishing behind Striking Sparks. That was a really good race for Striking Sparks because the runner-up came back, won in New York with an 89 Beyer speed figure, so Striking Sparks on his own actually I think fits in this race. Tell me a little bit about Collection Day. You've got this horse in the mix as well.
I just had to put him in there because he's the kind of horse, it's like Michael Gorham Collection. Just when you least expect it, this horse comes up, pops up, runs some big races. I thought ran okay behind Capcom and Derbiness last time out, beaten only a couple of lengths. They sent him to the front, which is kind of his game. He scored in gate-to-wire fashion at the same distance at Laurel back in March at 12-1. He looks like he may be like 80% of what he was back then, but given the way that the Gorham barn is going right now, I'm very concerned about this horse as some horses being overlooked, and did not use him in the pick 5, but just beware.
Beware. You can always throw them in there for a little extra. We have the same superfecta, just in a different order. My top pick, Derbiness, I believe is going to get the jump on Dave's top pick turning for home. We'll see if Stroncino can kick him down. 2-4-1-3 for Dave, 4-2-1-3-1 for me in race number 4. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and get set for our late value pick 5. Welcome back to a Saturday edition of Today at the Races. I'm Dan, he's Dave. We're getting set for the late value pick 5. We'll start off with race number 5. It's a 3/4 of a mile event. A maiden claimer, 12.5 down to 10. Maryland bred's eligible for the $15,000 price. We'll take out the 8, maybe May, and that will leave us with a field of 8. Again, first leg, low takeout, 12%. It's just such a horse player friendly wager. If you're playing pick 5s elsewhere for 15 or 16%, you're hurting yourself.
Absolutely. This is the way to go. Value pick 5, early and late, carryover potential on the late.
We've got Mackenzie Pfeiffer. She'll be along in the afternoon to take us through with Ali Francois and Dave Rodman. She's got a $54 ticket. Let's take a look. She's going to use 2 in here, your top selection, my top selection, paperback edition. Also the 2 Autumn in Vermont in race number 6. She goes 2 deep, Bad Boy Blaze and the speedy Sir Mick. Race 7 is the Beyond the Wire Stakes. She'll go 3 deep in there. Central Casting should show some speed from the rail. Beautiful Bloom and the Razor Sharp Onyx 10. Race number 8 the Private Terms for 3-year-olds going 2 turns. She's got the 5 Tony Eclipse, the 7 Sacred Thunder, the 8 Pay Billy. They're the 3 main protagonists in that field. And then in race number 9 to close it out, 3 deep, the 1 Mamba Mindset, the 5 Gordito, and the 6 Align. $54 ticket, 50-cent minimum play, the 12% takeout late value pick 5. Let's start with race number 5. You like paperback edition?
Yeah, horse has been the same level, right? Maiden 10. You see many times after that maiden 15. But I thought last was kind of a wake-up call after a bit of freshening for trainer Mary Upler. Went right to the front, good fractions, dueled with an inner rival the entire trip, and hung in there, fought for second, and finished second behind Wampy. Okay. I know Wampy didn't do anything yesterday afternoon. Kind of a little reach there to ask to repeat that effort, but if you could disregard that, just forget that Wampy ran poorly yesterday. I mean, I think she's gone to the front. There's just one way to go with this horse today.
She's going to the front. The young apprentice rider, Sarah Del Fabro's best mounts thus far have come when she's been aggressive and has shown speed with horses. She finished ahead of 4 of these common rivals last time out, so she just seems very well entered in this race. Del Fabro also had her choice between the 9 paperback edition, the 4 She's a Gem, a first-time starter that might take a little bit of money. Del Fabro lands here with the Mary Epler trainee paperback edition. Let's talk about Lady Limoncello, because in many ways this horse is the one to beat because she's taking such a significant class drop. Maybe she'll show some speed.
I thought her best race was on the turf back last summer, beating only a length and change with some trouble in the race. Had 1 comeback race for a higher level, dropping in today, taking the blinkers off for the first time in her career is trainer Lacey Gaudette. So, yeah, clearly the horse to beat on the class drop. Lady Sriracha, repeat winner out of her last. And who else was in there? Oh, Wampy, who finished 4th, came back to win out of that race.
And Lady Sriracha came back and won with a 65 buyer up in New York and a 25 non-2 life. So Lady Limoncello just makes a lot of sense dropping in class. We have a stat for Autumn in Vermont. This is my second pick and a horse that Max got on the ticket. Carlos Mencia, second off layoffs between 61 and 120 days, 21% winners, a 549 ROI. I thought this horse got a nice little trip tracking the pace inside last time out, altered course back to the rail and upper stretch, and finished second to the favorite. It was a good building block performance. Turning back to 6, what do you think about that?
That's exactly, and you know what? I think I overlooked this horse, honestly, because coming off that mile, shortening it back up to 6, you possibly can envision paperback edition going to the front. Lady Limoncello on the drop on the dirt, never had that much speed on the dirt, but the blinkers come off today. I get to see Autumn in Vermont with that 1 run underneath her belt, have the building, the foundation under her to make that last kick at the end. I admit I overlooked her in this spot.
If you're looking for a stranger, the 4 She's a Gem is a first-time starter going out for Claudio Gonzalez. We have a trainer stat, 4 She's a Gem. Claudio, first-time starters in dirt sprints, 4 for the last 17, 24% winners, a $2.59 return on investment. This horse breezed a bullet in 48 2-back.
Yeah. May take some early money, but we've seen some of these Claudio first-time starters take some early money, and then they kind of just don't show up. We'll see here. Maybe she's good enough to beat this field first out. I just couldn't build enough, enough points in a case for her to use her today. And again, as you mentioned, Del Frabo had a choice, right?
Right.
Goes
4-9.
outside with the more experienced runner.
You have Girl Gone Wild in the mix, and maybe
Oh,
I
boy.
underestimated this one. Kieran liked this horse enough to dip in out of the debut. Last time out with blinkers, kind of just didn't get away to a good start, and maybe that hurt her.
My record of picking horses on top last out and then not picking them and having them come back to win is
Huge.
pretty good ROI. And I picked this filly the last 2 times out. First off the claim, didn't do much. Then put the blinkers on her, didn't do much. Really bumped as a start. I don't think it was much of a factor in there. It was a very disappointing run last time out, but maybe third time's the charm here. And again, if you're looking for the Rodman picked her on top last time factor, you got it right to the winner's circle.
I'll have to contact DRF Formulator and get stats
Get the stat
for
on
that,
that,
because they
yeah.
are huge. 9176 for Dave, 9241 for me in the first leg of the late value pick 5 with a low 12% takeout. We'll move on to race number 6 in here. We're going 5.5 furlongs, 12.5 down to 10 for 3-year-olds. Let's take out the number 1, Freedom Stance. It leaves us with a field of 8. This is the first leg of our third and final 50-cent pick 4 wager on the afternoon. With Freedom Stance out, I think we should start our conversation with the 5, Urban Symphony. And I know we have a video spotlight for Urban Symphony, Dave. This is back on December the 1st, 4 starts back.
Right. It was off the claim into the Gina Perry barn. Good solid run in the clear on the outside, just kind of a willing, grinding, get up there on the outside just in time to win by a nose behind Buoyant, who's always got that early speed and the bright charge. Excuse me. I'm looking at the wrong way. No, behind Buoyant, right? And a little bit risky in that race, but kind of a grinding outside style. Okay, the form has been darkened the last couple of starts, blinkers and Lasix, nothing, but was behind Artillery Gunner and Pay Billy, who we'll see in stakes action later today. First start here for trainer Jamie Ness. The DEA Ness horses been transferred over to the Ness barn the last month or so. They're now 2 for 5 together. Patty Cakes at Parks and Point Doom at Parks, and I believe 4 or 5 in the money. So, I'm going to the Wayback Machine here with a horse who likes to grind a bit outside there, but I think I'm a little concerned, maybe a little short for him, but he is dropping down in class today, looking for a bit of a reversal. Urban Symphony.
You said it all. You covered every part of Urban Symphony, and I think you covered it perfectly. This horse has never been this cheap. The drop in class should help, but will the drop in distance hurt this horse? This is a big strapping horse, as we saw when he won at the 7. If the 8, Sir Mick, gets away to an early lead again, and an easy one, as he did last time out, at 5.5, will Urban Symphony be able to run him down? That's really the key to this race. Is anyone going to be able to go after Sir Mick early? Sir Mick's the only 3-time winner in this field, but last time out, not only did he get an uncontested lead, Dave, I thought that track was all speed.
Yeah, Sir Mick, I'm maybe hoping on Bad Boy Blaze, Kissling maybe, to kind of make some runs and try to soften him up just a little bit. Urban Symphony to sit the trip and kind of can mow him down a little bit there. Sir Mick, Lasix, big, lengthy score there. And he's got a good number behind Bangkok Bob and Up in Flames and Schrader. Urban Symphony's beaten them, though. Yeah, he was 4th in that video we showed you just a few moments ago.
You got Kissling in the mix. And what I like about Kissling is she's a very tactical sort of filly. I think at 5.5, it's not like she's going to be completely run off her feet, which is the concern with our top pick, Urban Symphony. She'll at least be within hailing range when they turn for home.
I like the way he finished behind Tiny Lake, who was a convincing winner 3 back on January 26th. I thought perhaps a little too close to the pace next out. Kissling next out. They tried to rate him a little bit on the inside, then made a move, flattened out a little bit. There's Let's Have a Party who beat him. Came back to win yesterday here at Laurel Park.
I'm not going to completely discount the 3. Duck's got all the candy, who was wired by Sir Mick over that speed-favoring track, but was chasing in vain in his first start off an October layoff. I wouldn't be surprised if Pecoraro has this horse sharper second time back, but we're hoping that the class drop gets it done for Urban Symphony. Dave goes 5, 7, 8, and 6. I'm going 5, 8, 3, and 2, and we'll head on over to the stakes portion of our Saturday afternoon program. Race number 7 for 3-year-old fillies. It's the $100,000 Beyond the Wire, the prep for the Weber City Miss, the Win and You're In for the Black-Eyed Susan on Preakness Eve. Take out the 2, Our Daydreaming Girl. It leaves us with a field of 7. I want to talk about my top pick first, and that's the number 3, Safe Trust. And I believe we have a video spotlight which features Safe Trust in here.
The Wide Country Stakes, Onyx 10 beats Safe Trust. And I thought the pace was moderate this day. You think he's really going to get out there again? Or is that what? Or is
I'm not saying he's going to get out there, but I think she's going to be either first or second in the early portion of this race. I thought Onyx 10 was very, very game to keep fighting. Not Onyx 10, Safe Trust I thought was very, very game to keep fighting. Onyx 10, as usual, gets good trips. She's just such a tactical filly, and it seemed like she got another good trip in here. Safe Trust had to set the pace, really never got a breather, battling with the 12-1 sixth-place finisher, the 13-1 last-place finisher, and you saw her continue to try hard. I think she continues to race herself back into shape. This is her 3rd start of the form cycle, and Jose Corrales, sprinter out, 3rd off the layoff, 3 for the last 11, 269 ROI. I think she gets the jump on these turning for home, and Safe Trust is a horse that, very immature emotionally, very backwards, like a baby as a 2-year-old, and still did some good things. I think she's slowly putting it together.
Yeah, it was an excellent performance. I thought, nothing against it, except I thought the pace was just slightly moderated in the middle. And central casting today.
He's the
breaking
speed from the rail.
From post 1 is a speed, I think, in the rail. Only the 3rd time in the Nest Barn. And debut in the Nest Barn behind Del Rey, broke inward, off a bit slow, cost position, not the second out, went right to the front, and I'm going to refer to William Humphrey, steal a little bit from him and his trip notes. I'm going to read it to you because I have to say it. Broke sharp, good speed, gently encouraged in the stride, crossed to the rail, established a clear lead, had rivals under pressure while still traveling well in the far turn, et cetera, et cetera. Gate to wire, okay on the eye, much the best. I thought visually a very, very good performance from this filly. 3rd time in the Nest Barn. I think she can beat Safe Trust to the lead. Now, can she go a mile? She's by World of Trouble, a great one-turn sire. You look at the average win distance at Daily Racing Form Formulator for World of Trouble. Not inspiring for a mile distance, but this is a one-turn mile. So I don't think it's a reach for a speed horse to get the one-turn mile here at Laurel if they can get away with it.
But it's a one-turn mile with a long
stretch
of the second wire. Jamie Ness has the same concerns that you have, because when I talked to him earlier this week, he said the mile's the key really for this horse. This horse is naturally fast. You broke the rail. You talk about Will Humphrey's trip notes. It's much better than mine. Set pace inside best.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I used it.
That's why you go to laurelpark.com/picks and download our free handicapping guide, and you get Will Humphrey's
the part
trip
I
notes.
left out began increasing advantage under minimal urging at the 3/8 pole. I think she breaks. She's gone, and Jamie Rodriguez knows how to ride this mile here at Laurel Park. There's going to be no messing around today with a good break.
Onyx 10 did actually pop the gate before the start last time out in the wide country, and then she got that good trip. Does post 8 worry you going a mile? She is tactical enough to get close to the pace, but I just think if she's 3-4 wide all the way around and then is faced with the daunting long stretch, it could potentially work against her.
I just think she's got, once she gets in that rhythm in the stride and the stretch, she'll be rolling. It doesn't really concern me.
I think My Charm is a very dangerous horse, and I think I underestimated her. You at least have her in the mix, because Brittany turned this horse back to 3/4 last time out, and that's just not her game. I think getting back out to a mile could really spark improvement. A little bit light on figs, that's what's worrying me, but she's so lightly raced, there's still upside.
Yeah, that's why I used her kind of underneath, a little bit light on every kind of figure I could come up with, both class and final time-wise as well. But Bernardini going a mile.
Really think this horse will appreciate stretching out. 1, 8, 3, and 7. We'll see if the World of Trouble filly can get the one-turn mile. Central casting 3, 1, 8, and 4 for me. I'm hoping Safe Trust can sit just there, and a attack turning into that long stretch. Let's move on to race number 8. It's the $100,000 private term stage. We're going to scratch the 2, the 3, and the 4. Both the 2 and the 3 are re-entered in an allowance race tomorrow. Pretty salty affair. Global Steve's running at Turfway Park a little bit later today. It leaves us only with a field of 5, and it kind of turns this race into a tactical race, doesn't it? It changes the dynamic a little bit. I do think that your top pick, Tony Eclipse, if he wants the lead, can get it.
Okay, yeah, we're going to show that race because this race is really a kind of a trip
my
lesson, right? I mean, the races, the videos we're going to show you here. This is Crab Daddy.
Watch Tony Eclipse,
Tony
the number
Eclipse
1 here in the green. Just
getting shuffled.
Just gets
a horse backs
7.
up. The 9 backs up right into him when tiring and gets shuffled back. And he's got the kind of stride where he just needs to start running, gradually reaching, extending the stride. Couldn't really get back into it in the stretch run. There he is on the outside. I would say positionally he probably lost 3 lengths in the race, but it's more than that. I just think it's the way he runs that really is going to.
And you can watch all of our replays at our Laurel Park YouTube channel, and you want to watch that race because Tony Eclipse, you saw, was the 7 in there and just got completely skunked, shuffled out, tried to re-rally. It's just too much to do. Sacred Thunder in that race was just in and among horses, loaded with run, couldn't do anything until mid-stretch. He finally got out, and you saw the number 1 Sacred Thunder rally very well to be 3rd. Sacred Thunder is a horse that's been extremely unlucky in his last 4 starts, whether it be from a trip standpoint, whether it be from a pace standpoint. I think Gary Kapp was hoping this race would have stayed a little bit more intact and maybe have a little bit of speed, but I know he wants to stretch this horse around 2 turns. Maybe now's the time. We do have to talk about Pay Billy, however.
A really solid effort from Pay Billy, beating the nose bar Barbadian Runner. It was a soft, snail-like pace early on in the race. Here is the video. You see Crab Daddy down inside there. They weren't going super, super fast. And then I tell you what, Barbadian Runner, the eventual winner there in the lime green cap, was very impressive because he's got a turn of foot. But there's Pay Billy making the lead in the white cap upper stretch. And once he does, he battles Barbadian Runner. After Barbadian Runner had that quick burst and tried to get away from him, watch here, he tries to come back in the last, that was a brutal photo.
That was a tough beat if you liked Pay Billy that day, as I did. But it showed that he could hang with these kind of horses, I believe. And I think these scratches help him because he's no longer mired in post 8 with a short run to the first turn. Now he's only in post position 5 with the tactical speed to be close to the pace. This is a really fun tactical race. I think Tony Eclipse has a lot of talent. He still has to prove himself, I think, at this distance. Pay Billy is going to have to back up that most recent start. And Sacred Thunder last time out, that pace was just not there for him. He tried to rally from last again, so don't hold that loss against him. This is really a fun race.
Yeah, he's kind of a big hulking horse, you know, and so if he has trouble, it takes him a while to get back into his rhythm. But again, like you say, I don't envision a super quick pace in here either. So
I think really Baby Dukes is kind of the key to the pace because maybe he can go after Tony Eclipse early. This horse was gelded last time out in the City of Brotherly Love. He's still very, very green, though. He had switched to his right lead on the turn and kept on going, but maybe just getting out to that 2-turn distance and being gelded helped Baby Dukes out. I just think pressing Tony Eclipse might not be the best trip for him.
I think Tony's going to get a good trip today.
I think Tony's going to get a good front-running trip today for Brittany and Sheldon Russell. Let's move on to the finale, race number 9. We're going a 1-turn mile, 12.5 down to 10, maiden claiming event. We've got a field of 7 in this race. Dave, I think we should start off with the number 1, Mamba Mindset, your top pick, taking a big drop for Phil Capuano.
Dan, this is one of 2 second-time geldings in the race. Cordito being one, number 5, breaking mid-pack, and Mamba Mindset, who finished 3rd as a first-time gelding last time out behind Hacksaw Ridge, who happened to be a first-time gelding that day, but a lengthy winner. I thought a pretty good race after being wide in the turns, inside today on that 1-turn mile, can save some ground. Zambrana had a choice of 2 in here, and he went to the horse that you're picking on top. I guess your long shot play of the day, in repeating, of course.
I'm going to be playing repeating with course with a little bit of enthusiasm today. This horse went to the sidelines for a while, came back, and in his first start off the layoff was dismissed at 44 to 1. And the running line overall doesn't look great, but I like the fact that he at least showed some early speed for the first time in his life. I think there was something there. Last time out, he got wired by a long shot, but he was 4 wide on the backstretch, made a big 3 wide move into contention on the turn, and flattened out. I believe this horse is racing himself back into shape. I was very surprised that Zambrana picked this one over Mamba Mindset, considering that horse is going to take a lot of money on the class drop. I think repeating, of course, fits very well here.
Yeah, same here. I was kind of surprised at that move, but I could see that. I like horses like that who kind of show good kind of early speed against a good sharp opening quarter, kind of stretching out here right to the mile. Could be lights out if can control or not get too much pressure up front. Now, Gordito, again, one of the other horses is a second time gelding in here. Look at that turnaround, beaten 20 lengths, 16 lengths, came back with a good 33 to 1 behind Aikman's Audible, a rival he's faced today again, and a line who's kind of turning into a long-time maiden. But he was 4 wide in the first turn, 4 to 5 wide on the second turn. I thought I put down best race yet as first-time gelding. Ran much better as a first-time gelding. Coming back, mile and a 16th to a mile. He's fit. He's ready. I mean, I could have flipped him. I went 1-5, could have gone 5-1.
And this horse, I think, is just really built to handle the 2 turns. Really loved it. Loved the Lasix, loved the blinkers, and he may love J-Rod getting aboard today. A line is kind of an old faithful type. I'm not really sure I trust him. Maybe he's the horse that tries to put some heat on Mamba Mindset in the early part of this race. He tried to go with the favorite, Aikman's Audible, last time out and couldn't. He was very, very late to change leads in that race. I'm not sure I completely trust him, but he's in good form for a good trainer in Phil Schoenthal. Dave's going 1-5-3-6. I'm going 4-6-5-2. Dave, time for your play of the day.
Okay, hero or zero here in the third race. We mentioned Haley B is perhaps being overbet today. Maybe she'll get away with an easy fraction again at opening quarter onto the 3/8 into the half. But if she doesn't, I think Genie and a Bridle coming off a perfect trip up the inside win is a great value today. 5 to 1 on the morning line. Haley B going to get a lot of attention in there.
See, I've got to pass on the beer crawl because I got to wait around for race number 9, the final race, and I've got to be sharp if I'm going to be playing the number 4, repeating, of course. Maybe I don't get the 15 to 1 on the morning line, but I just do think this horse has never hit the board. He's going to be a price in this race. We'll see how far he wants to go. Maybe he'll get closer to the lead. 9 on tap, 2 stakes, 2 value pick 5s with low 12% takeout, fast track, who can ask for anything more. I can tell you what more you're going to get. You're going to get Callie Francois, Mackenzie Pfeiffer, and Dave Rodman taking you through the afternoon for the 9-race program. And Dave will be back in a moment when I get out of here for scratches and changes. Best of luck.
Good luck.